Hello everyone. Today's topic is the regulations which has been recently introduced under UGC Act 1956. These have erupted multiple discussions, debates and controversies on the social media platforms. Rather, we can find the protests are being unfolded on the streets, roads in the different part of the country. So first of all, let's get to understand what are the reasons behind all these controversies. So UGC is a legal body, legal institution which regulates the norms inside the campus of the universities and colleges which are listed in its mandate. So certain guidelines have been ruled out to be followed, which are legally binding, unlike the previous one, which were rolled out in 2012 and those were advisory merely. This time it is legally binding on every institution, every university, every colleges. So it is about the curbing of discriminatory activities which are practiced inside the campus. So people are thinking that if it is about the discriminatory activities, there are a number of laws which does the same thing. Example, SC/ST Act, SC/ST Atrocity Act. So let's get an example. When the state government is not able to get to the grassroots level for its development, we got the concept of panchayat, that it could regulate itself and get the development at its grassroots. In the same way, women's safety is an important topic, and there are different sections under BNS, BNSS, which targets the same thing. Still, there are POSH Act, which specifically targets the workplace and safety of women at that very domain. So this law has also the same aspect, like it is for the place which is more likely to experience such kind of activities and such practices. So this has been introduced in the educational institutions. Basically, it is for promotion of equity in the higher education institutions. But the problem is with its provisions. Provision is with no checks and balances. So let's get to understand what are the provisions first of all. The act has been brought with a good intention, no doubt. But its provision seems dual-edged sword, which can be misused, which is very prone to be misused, and it is indeed vulnerable. So what are the provisions? It has over institutionalization, it has bifurcated, it has binary aspect of victim and the oppressor. So these are the things which are prejudicing, these are stereotyping. Like on a by and large level we can understand this, but it is not about the solving the problems, rather it would create a newer one. Let's get to the point. The point is, it has introduced certain kind of institutions in every university. Example, Equity Opportunity Center, Equity Squad, Equity Helpline, Ambassadors and Equity Committees. These are all for this purpose, that nobody could do any kind of discriminatory activities in the campus of the university or the colleges. So basically, it has a prejudiced ideology which accuses, which predecides the general category students as the oppressor and victims as the SC, ST and OBC students. Like there is redressal in this guidelines only for the SC, ST and the OBC students against the general ones. The problem is that it is not compulsory that the general students would only do the operation over them. In the society of India, it is kind of a pyramid which has been finely sliced, and every so-called community which assumes itself to be higher than the lower ones believes that it has certain kind of authority to discriminate with the lower ones. So it is not binary that general ones are discriminating only against the SC, ST and OBC and vice versa. They are the oppressor and these are the victims. So the problem is with this very part, right? If someone from the victim category complains against the general ones, there is no any kind of checks and balance to penalize and to investigate the accusation, whether the accusation is right or wrong. So it is the very problem which is creating the controversy, that it is curbing the interests of multiple students in a categorized way, in a systematic way, which is again discriminatory. And I think this is not a solution. This is sowing of seed for future problems, because our political class needs such kind of problems to be evolving by the time that they could use it in their vested political interest. So before we get into the debate of right or wrong, who wins, it is the debate in the very beginning that we started talking about this, because in the society it should be culturally ingrained in the children that we all are equal and must behave in that manner. Because of this paucity, because of this loophole, these politicians get chance to divide our society and get their political vested interest served on our cost. So this is the basic problem. And one more problem is that the equity committee consists mandatorily of SC, ST, PWD, women and OBC candidates, but not the general ones. This would create a highly biased decision, and for any complaint the institutions would deliberately pass on the liability to the candidate instead of taking the accountability, because in this particular guideline the university is supposed to be penalized if they ignored any kind of complaints. So to maintain its reputation, definitely many students would get their interests hampered. So these are the problems with this regulation and needs to be amended. And one more problem is of the equity squad. Any surveillance squad in the university campus or the college would only create ragging kind of situation, condition, and even after the good intention of this guideline, it would reflect only the casteist angle every time in the campus. So there should be checks and balances for every aspect. There must be provision for the accused also to be heard, to be redressed, or else this guideline, this act would be used for personal rivalry, personal vendetta, and it would not serve the interest for what it has been rolled out in the UGC Act 1956. Thank you very much.